frustrated a little?
Yeah, a little bit. I think at times we just need to be a little bit more patient with the ball. At times we just try to force things in there. They make it very difficult for us, so we just have to be a bit more patient.
And so who are you looking to break that cycle for you? Was there any word to anyone in particular, Carl?
Yeah, look, our wingers need to be a little bit more positive and take their fullbacks on a little bit more, be a bit more attacking at them.
Thanks for your time. We'll look out for that.
Thank you.
Poor ball out by Timotheo after the kickoff routine, and Wellington have it back immediately. So we'll look for Adelaide United's wingers to get involved. Instead, it's Wellington right through the middle, and Sotirio couldn't maintain control, but it's still alive here for Payne. They'll get it back from Rufa. Davila with Dorigo at his back. Tomer Hemed. Delightful link-up play, and Timotheo had to be safety first at the end of it all.
Tomer Hemed plays, Speedy, with great efficiency. I mean, you don't play where he's played without great technique. There's no fanfare about him, but the ball sticks. He takes them in the pitches. He knows where the ball's got to go, and the technique allows him to get the ball there with minimum fuss.
Encouragement from the travelling supporters for Lewis towards Taylor. Hemed brought it down for Taylor. He's still scrapping with strain. Little handball on the way out, say the Reds, but it doesn't matter anymore. Counter-attack is being launched. Cavallo held up by Rufa successfully. Fans wanted him to keep on going, but he knew that he couldn't win that battle. Free kick won by One Day. Teammate took it from 10 metres behind that, and the referee instructed them to take it from where the foul occurred. Fans groaned. Good one. It's another winger not executing as Carl Viet would hope.
Yeah, the range hasn't been there for Craig Goodwin tonight. He's hit one extremely dangerous cross later in that first half, but hasn't found the mark otherwise.
David Ball mouthed off about the whistle. And Reza Fagani broke into his quickest sprint of the night to talk it over.
Nothing presses Ali Reza's buttons more than a player who makes a motion towards him or dares open their mouth. It really gets him going.
One Day around the corner. Juric dropping off that front line to get involved. Now he can get in the area because Goodwin fizzes it across the face, hoping that it might open something up. Instead, the Knicks are breaking the other way. Hemed again looking for Sotirio. One Day drop back into that hole.
Well, that was a nice turn from Hemed to get the space, but the pass let him down. He knows it too. Under hit. And he's been a good addition to the league. No question about that.
No goals for Wellington since that 97th minute winner over the Reds. Game and a half has drifted by since then. And Adelaide United was so full of goals at one stage, Robbie Cornthwaite, but this 11 is not exactly setting the world on fire.
No, they're not. I mean, Tommy Juric has obviously got 7 for the season and Mork as well, so they're both more than capable of finding the back of the net. I just feel that Adelaide United may be a little bit more mobile when Yengi was playing up top during that period. I think defensively as well, he's able to get a lot of pressure on the ball. I was surprised at how big his engine was to continue to press for 90 minutes, and maybe that's just an element of Adelaide's game that's sort of gone missing in the last couple of weeks.
Lewis delivers, near post flick on. That was maybe the best chance so far tonight for Soteria.
Well, he's had a couple of half sights and a couple of moments on counter-attack. He hasn't really looked himself, Soteria, but he glances that one dangerously. And that could just as easily have snuck in the far corner.
Three goals this season, 13 in his A-League career. Here he is again, the speedster, Soteria. Defender lost his feet. Elsie cut back. Davila got a little nick on it. Tied it up by Strain, who gave it back though. Shaped wide for ball. He's got an overlapping run from Sutton. Hemed v Timotheu. And out for the corner in the end.
Interesting, the ref didn't feel that he needed to play advantage as Soteria was through on the left-hand side. It looked like a pretty high boot from Jordan Elsie. As Soteria looked to nod the ball on, ref didn't even make any motion that it was an advantage play.
Economy of movement. Nice corner variation. Open it up for Rufer, who's never scored an A-League goal. And maybe showed why there, because he took a long time to wind up for the shot. '85th game in the A-League. Cavallo again. A little bit of class. And the ball. Wow, that was a tight thing. The assistant said it had crossed the line. Matthew Cream running the nearest touchline. Timotheu tidied up his own mess. What a ball that is from Mork to Halloran, who's around his man if he can find the ball. And the back heel, a bit of risk associated with it, but Taylor gets it out for the corner.
How good from Steve Taylor. Made it look like there was never a doubt or a risk, but you're not going to convince me in a month of Sundays that he had total control over this. Intentional as it was, but how quick did he turn around to see where it had gone, in fact? No sweat. Big Steve.
Cool as a cucumber. Video phones are rolling in the background. The nutmeg. Halloran! Oh, across the face, and Mork unable to turn it home. That deserved a goal. The wizardry from Ben Halloran.
Well, beautiful. Ben Halloran is looked dangerous. Past Sutton. There's fair income, a tattoo, a squirt of ink in this one. Right on the line. Mork steaming in. Maybe Mork thinks it's going to sneak in itself. How close for Adelaide?
Around the corner, Soteria. Timotheu saw him off. He's out of position now, the big centre half. It doesn't matter as Adelaide United string some passes together. And Strain stretches out. Still Ryan Strain. He's never scored an A-League goal. And at the end, he tried the audacious finish. That would have been some way to get off his drought in game number 74. But it was a long way off with the scoop.
Well, Josh Soteria turned blind when Tomer Hemed, with a beautiful bit of technique, played him in, and then bursting upfield is Ryan Strain. It's ended up being a superb clearance, unfortunately for him.
I'll just have a single scoop, thanks. And he got the double or triple. Just onside, Tim Payne. Two of the longest standing goal scoring droughts with half a chance or better than that to end in quick succession. Rufer and then Strain. Mork stayed down for a little while. The game opening up here. 55 minutes in, Robbie Cornthwaite.
It certainly is. I know Carl Veers said he wanted his wingers to be a little bit more direct, and Ben Halloran decided to go through the legs. So that's how direct he was. But while we were watching that replay of the Ryan Strain chance, the Wellington took that goal kick extremely quickly and tried to get up the other end immediately as well. So certainly end to end. I think the more Davila can get on the ball, we know One Day's on a yellow card. We know Mork's treading a white line for the next 45 minutes in terms of missing next week's game. But looks like Wellington might be the first to pull the trigger on the subs bench. Scopper and McGarry look the two most likely. They're still going through their paces, but they just recently came over to the bench, got some instruction and took off their jackets, so I don't think they'll be too far away.
His ball. Sutton. And Gauchi just towers over opposition strikers. The Gouch rolls it out for One Day. Some time for Cavallo to create the outnumber here. Clever play by the Reds. Early delivery and all the way through for Juric. Thumps it into the side netting, and the whistle had already gone for handball on the control.
Well, it was pretty handy delivery again from Cavallo. Released by One Day. And there's the hand that controlled the ball, but at least it gave Tommy Juric something to have a go at.
Halloran, lovely touch. He's around his man, and Sale kept it away from Goodwin in the middle. Important win by Timotheu. Stopped Davila getting away. Strain encouraged to shoot. Halloran, turned away by Taylor again. Flashing near that near post.
Held the position well, the big centre half. A key turnover on halfway, and Ben Halloran is just so hard to handle at the moment. Not quite sure about the option in the end. It certainly played Ollie Sale right into the game. The keeper was up to it and strong. But some very, very promising moments for Adelaide in recent moments.
Local NPL club represents the Para Hills Knights. Some Adelaide United players have come through there. Ball pinballing around again here, and Sale out to thwart. Another giveaway by Wellington. Looking a little scratchy in midfield at times. Descent on display here from One Day, and he is in the book. Yes, sir, 3 bags full, otherwise he'll get a second yellow.
It's the raw nerve for Ali Reza Fagani. Any sort of dissent, any questioning. Had One Day not been in the book, I reckon he would have copped one then.
So it's Sotirio off and Reno Piscopo on. The Olyroos hopeful, who's been had his campaign blighted by injury, and this is no surprise. The next change, Sutton has learnt a lesson or two against Ben Halloran, and on comes the more experienced McGarry in that left back position. He gets involved immediately. Davila. Piscopo. And earns a corner. Tell you what, McGarry wasn't a bad option with the return ball. Piscopo was over there for the short option, or indeed to take the corner himself, but Davila said, I'm taking this one. In swinger time. Piscopo edge of the area. Lewis, that's clever. Davila. Timotheu's having a great night in defence.
Yeah, he really is, Speed. It's a good call, as was your description of Lewis's pass back to Davila. It was excellent. on that first post. Timotho was great. He's been strong all night.
I was going to call it Diamante-esque. There's the same number, of course, as the Italian superstar. Does Lewis. Here he is again with that left boot of his. First time pass. McGarry with fresh legs. Inside the area. David Ball. Man, Halloran had to be careful. Oh, Davila. Even the miscues nearly come off and play in strikers. There's a way through here potentially. Payne had to check his run. Davila skips over Halloran. Goes for goal, does he?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of frustration, which might make his bench a little bit frustrated now, because he's just felt a tweak. They can barely do without him. A talisman, if ever there was. Lewis to Davila, who skips past, and I think frustrated by David Ball whacking the ball at him just outside the penalty area last attack. And on this attack, which has ended up in this unfortunate scene for Wellington, I thought Rene Piscopo wanted one touch too many. Touch and release the wide player down the right who would have been in behind. He's yet into game speed. He's had 2 touches since coming on very quickly. Rene Piscopo, and the team generally is better for his contributions. A fine player. I just think he wanted one touch too many then.
The old hamstring strength test. Do they roll the dice? He's such an important player. Their finals hopes rest with Ulisses Davila. There's half an hour to go here. And let's just bide our time on whether he has to make way. But we don't want to see that hamstring go ping at Robbie Cornthwaite. The bench has a decision to make.
Yeah, I wouldn't be taking too many risks with his star man. I know obviously the physio is more qualified than me. He said to just wait and see. They've got Ben Waine stripped and ready to roll. I think they were anticipating making the change, and I'm not sure. He's just having a little bit of a chat to his boss. It looks as though he's going to go back on. I hope this isn't one of those instances where he comes on and makes things worse.
Not quite for strain. Held up by McGarry successfully. So Davila returns. How are you assessing that gait of his?
Well, no difference at this point. We haven't had that focus to look at his gait from that angle, Speedy.
I reckon he looked lame in the off.
He's not looking too good so far, boys. He's come on and he failed to really get up to a jog so far. I'm really hoping for his sake and for Wellington Phoenix' sake he doesn't go off on a sprint and really do some serious damage. We'll have to keep a close eye on things.
The dreaded hamstrings.
He's made the call. He's said he's coming off.
It's going to go down as he do it. Make that change occur. What a shame to see the superstar.
Well, Adelaide are under no obligation to kick the ball out. They may do, which they have.
It's one of those strange ones, guys. I mean, like I said, I wasn't out there and I wasn't testing the hamstring, and I don't know everything about hamstring injuries, but when you see a player go down like that, he's holding the hamstring, he's limping when he walks. I mean, I'm not sure why they let the players go back on. We've seen it on a couple of occasions this season. They're such a serious asset, particularly a player like this, and I don't know why you take the risk. Just take the responsibility out of the player's hands, because 99 times out of 10 he's going to want to go back on.
And let's hope he doesn't miss any further football. Melbourne City away, and then 2 trips back to New Zealand to play home games in front of the home fans. Let's hope Davila is part of those occasions.
And let's see for Wellington, guys, if the cloud of losing Davila can be replaced by a silver lining of another player stepping up to lead the way.
Ben Waine is on, and Ben Halloran just took everyone's breath away. Now the size as Rufer. One possession, and one day just held him back, and again he's risking a red card there one day. He's lucky that Rufer rode through it.
Well, Alex Rufer, in the back of his mind, would have been doing the numbers on one day, but this close, and to break the drought, he's going to push on.
Piscopo. Oh, the header was won by Payne, who was more desperate to get on the end of things. Couldn't keep it down. Piscopo's first up delivery was very handy.
He made great ground, Wayne, didn't he? Just couldn't quite time it. The ball came on quickly in the end once he'd found the space.
Any recommendations on what Carl Viet should do with his bench? Andy or Robbie, have a think about that. Chime in when you see fit.
I'll just jump in there, boys. Al Hassan Toure is getting stripped and looks as though he's about to come on. We know Carl Viet has been pretty cautious previously. Looks like a foul there from Timotheu. Carl Viet's been pretty cautious, particularly last week. He took Louis Dorigo off at half-time when he had a yellow card, and you could see Ross Aloisi just asking the question to Carl whether or not one day should be coming off. I think a player of that experience you probably give a little bit more trust to, but he's certainly walking a fine line at the moment.
Al Hassan Toure getting some final instructions. Timotheu very lucky to avoid a caution for that cynical defensive work out on this near side a moment ago. Harassment from Ben Wayne, and the late whistle goes the way of one day. Adelaide United fans having to be patient. They don't normally have to wait for a goal at home for this long, after being held goalless in the last game by Western United. A quarter of the game to go here tonight. You sense it's going to open up even more now after all these changes.
It's getting a little fraught. Fans getting more and more worked up. It's a regular Friday night at Cooper's, really. And it would be a complete bucking of the trend if this one doesn't deliver something that everyone's talking about. One of the Adelaide kids to set a new standard. A controversy, a VAR. There'll be something, Speedy.
And it's another midfielder coming off for Al Hassan Toure. One day stays on. Dorigo comes off. There was the option, of course, to switch Dorigo into that one-day role and take the Spaniard out of there. In comes the Mark Viduka medalist in years gone by. Lovely flick on. Wayne trying to make the most of it. Risky challenge from Elsey. Won the ball. And kept in. No risk associated with that from Cavallo. They forced Wellington back. Late run being made by Payne here. Teammate turned him down. Didn't fancy the diag. Now Piscopo might think about him. Reno Piscopo! And straight at Gauci.
It was a good run from Piscopo, just couldn't quite get the backswing to generate the power, and the angle was always going to favour Gauci, who was comfortable, but nice work from Wellington. And I don't know about the stats, all this sort of stuff, but Wellington, when the game's in the balance, seem to get really strong in the closing 20 minutes of a game. This is when Ulysses Davila normally does a lot of his very dangerous work. Hence, to repeat the point, this is now the opportunity for another Wellington player to step into that breach.
And Wayne tried to flick it back. Tim Payne is coming up as though he's wearing that Wellington kit, but some of his teammates must think he's in camouflage. They've been turning him down a couple of times recently, and now there's space that he's left behind for Goodwin to exploit. Teammates in the middle, lovely cutback, and what a block it is from Laws. Halloran thought he'd done enough to score, I reckon.
Arrived nicely, well-timed run, good contact, but Laws was there.
Al-Hassan Toure. His dad brought the Toure boys up to be entertainers and hit the ground running with some slick moves as Al-Hassan. You spend a bit of time with the Toure clan, Robbie Cornthwaite, and they're all about entertainment. And under the Friday night lights, Al-Hassan Toure might have the final say.
Well, I hope for Adelaide fans he does. I mean, he hasn't found the back of the net regularly since his injuries, and he's come back. But I was just thinking earlier on in this second half, I know we always get excited about some of the young, exciting talent Adelaide have on the bench coming on the last half an hour, but I feel as though this game might be set up for him with the amount of space. He's not playing on the last line, so he might get an opportunity to turn and run at defences a little bit more.
Look at the effort made by McGarry here to overlap, and ball turns him down. The strike from Lewis needed a deflection. What about the A-League ladder right now? 6 points between second and ninth. You want to be going up in 3-point chunks if you can. Any other results and you're leaving yourself potentially a sitting duck. Cavallo still full of running. Goodwin picked out his man. Mort keeping it alive. Halloran keeps it in the attacking third for Strain, who's been heavily involved. Urich getting no change out of Taylor. Piscopo with skill. Swept out in front of Wayne. And across in time was Timotheo. The advantage didn't accrue, so the referee comes all the way back.
Well, the ball swinging from penalty area to penalty area at the moment. Really well defended by Steve Taylor in the Wellington defence there as a first block. And Piscopo looked to carry the ball out with his feet. Very clever dribbler. Drew the foul.
Chance here. Brilliant skill. And in the end, it's Timotheo who keeps ball at bay. He's flicking it up and trying to produce a Paul Gascoigne finish.
Well, he did. Super, didn't he? To get through too, but Timotheo's been very, very alert. Very good tonight.
Piscopo. Out comes Gauchi. Good confident claim. And the distribution not the best that time. Could come back to haunt, because here comes the corner taker. Piscopo dragged down by Strain. It's a second yellow card for Ryan Strain. Adelaide United down to 10. There can be no argument that that is a yellow card offence.
That's very good play from Piscopo. Look at the speed with which he carries the ball at the defender, straight at the defender to square them up, and then jinks past. And Strain commits the foul. It's a clear yellow card. There can be no complaint about that.
And how'd he get his first yellow card? Descent from memory.
Kicking the ball away, Speedy.
Was it kicking the ball away, was it?
Yeah, there was a couple of tackles that Ali Reza Fagani let go, and then when he finally gave one against Strain, the frustration got the better of him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that's
when he kicked it down the sideline.
now.
Yep. So his ill-discipline and frustration boiling over. Can Wellington take advantage? Big opportunity on the road here. Piscopo went direct.
Well, he's got to be the man from here, Reno Piscopo. Normally provides a great foil for the leading act, Ulysses Davila. But that's only because of seniority, not because Piscopo can't do the job. And this is a great opportunity for this fine young player to lead Wellington home here.
There was communication between the referee and his assistant on this near side, Matthew Cream, about whether that was worthy of a second yellow card. There was no debate from the officials. That time Piscopo just ran into Elsie and there was no free kick forthcoming. Movement from Piscopo opened up space for Rufer, who receives now. Ahmed was straining to keep it alive. Nice idea, but overhit by Lewis. Let's reflect on the two cautions. This was the first one, kicking the ball away. And then that's chopping down Piscopo. That's my first foul, sir. It's your first foul. It's a cynical one. And you're on that yellow card, remember? You're off. Poor discipline. And Tommy Juric replaced by Cassini Yengi. Fresh legs up top. Little nutmeg, but couldn't get it on the other side. Urgency going up a notch or two here. Piscopo trying to keep his feet, but, just ran away from it.
They just keep at this intensity, keep probing, but doing it with real intent. And they can believe that Adelaide will break at some point. They mustn't slow down, though, Wellington. They've got the man's advantage, mustn't fall into the trap of other teams in recent weeks who've just eventually thought something was going to happen because we've got the extra player. You've got to make it happen.
Confident pass from Halloran to Toure. Moore clips it up. Who wants it? Oh, he's brought it under his control. Brilliant from Al Hassan Toure, trying to play in Yengi, who's kept it alive here. Could have gone back to Toure, instead lost out. They might not get too many chances like that, the Reds. Piscopo's touch a little off.
And then to look at the Adelaide way out of this, got enormous skill and excitement and speed in the counter-attack. Yengi, Al Hassan Toure, both handfuls. Either of them could win it for Adelaide.
Square ball was on for Moore. Yengi turned him down. Still going Cassini Yengi. Getting your numbers back in bright yellow. Heavy leg from Timotheu to no one in particular. All the way back to Sale. Adelaide United down to 10, but pressing. Trying to create a turnover, and they get it back.
for Wellington coming off number 14, Alex Rupert. He'll be replaced by number 13, Charles Lockeley.
An aggressive move by Ufuk Talay. Knows that he needs to win games, not just get a point on the road. Midfielder off, attacker on, Harps.
Yeah, and speaking of goal droughts, we're looking for Charles to break his. Not quite as long as Alex Rufus, but a player who scored a lot of goals as a youth prospect coming through at Sydney FC. And I know he's got the favour of his coach, Ufuk Talay, so he's a lot of upside in Charles Lokoli-Ngoi's potential contribution. What a great time for him to start paying a dividend.
Making the run immediately. Lokoli-Ngoi. Cut back, cut out by Mork. Goodwin told to go, and he's drifted it beautifully for Yengi. And teammates arrive. He might not need them. Cassini, Yengi, this is brilliant! Straight at Ollie Sale, and he turned down Stefan Mork again. Did Cassini Yengi. But there's a bit more happening since he came on than there was for Tommy Urich.
Well, he's certainly justifying the calls of Robbie Cornthwaite.
He did the hard work, didn't he? Sat a defender down with the hesitation. And took on the strike, did Cassini Yengi. Plenty of time here. Cavallo looks for him. Ball. Stopped by Halloran. Big chance for Wellington to get just their 5th win all time in Adelaide. Ball. McGarry to the byline he goes. Lokoli-Ngoi had the jump on Timotheu, but couldn't get the header on target.
That was a good one to nail. He's a strong customer. The ball took the little deflection on the cross, which might have put him off and certainly stopped him from really making good contact, but he rose well and needs to be able to control that, whatever the circumstances.
Joe Gauci will be walking a tightrope before too long. Robbie Cornthwaite on the length of time he's taking on goal kicks.
He certainly is. The Wellington Phoenix bench has been top of it all this second half, constantly in the fourth official's ear about the length of time Adelaide United are taking. They're set up to play it short, and then they haven't done it once, and they push everyone forward. It's up to 20 seconds on occasions.
And the rest is one day. Halloran, and the strike was on target. Brilliant, strong hand by Sale to palm it away from Goodwin on the follow-up.
Nice clean strike from Ben Halloran. He's played well tonight, the Adelaide winger. That was low and firing into that far corner. Ollie Sale had to be strong, and he was.
And the Red Army are becoming the 11th man, not the 12th man tonight. Goodwin delivers. Header flick clear. And Lokoli-Ngoi gets there first. Counter-attack is on. Ben Waine right through the middle. Important intervention by Cavallo, who'd come across. Bench being utilised again here, and Cavallo is the one making way. Kitto with fresh legs, perhaps like for like. And Joe Coletti as well. Stefan Mork reflecting on being unmarked on back-to-back occasions when Cassini Yengi went to work.
Yeah, and he had his own chance in the first half, you remember, but with 5+ stoppages to go, Carl Veert's thinking any pattern in this game that's going to work in our favour. We'll rely on the two kids and Goodwin to sort it for us up front, and we'll see if we can plug things up at the back. Coletti with a lot of work to do, a lot of ground to cover in midfield for these remaining minutes.
Head clash. Treatment required. Barely a game goes by when we don't see this kind of stuff. Still a substitution window up the sleeve of both managers. If concussion protocol is not passed here by McGarry or Halloran, what does Dr. Harper say?
Well, I applaud the ref for stopping the game. I wish the clock would stop at the same time. But the ref moved quickly. Players need their assessment and leave it up to the medicos because you just can't tell.
Just a clarification, Carl Veert has used all 3 substitution windows, so Halloran can't be replaced. They'd be down to 9 if concussion ruled him out. Yengi is proving untouchable and is puzzled as to why Toure didn't move on to that one. Toure is giving a bit back, saying, mate, you've got a few teammates out here if you want to use them.
It was a good little exchange. He looked like he'd been tasered for a sec there. He's been good value off the bench, Yengi. He's a dangerous customer, thrilling to watch.
Ricochet off who? Wow. Tim Payne says that's a hometown decision if ever I've seen one. And Tallow will give his feedback to Matthew Cream when he gets within earshot. Wayne. Timotheu going stride for stride, double, triple ricochet, and goal kick given. Careful, Ben. What about the tension, Robbie Cornthwaite?
Yeah, both benches are up and about. There's been a few 50-50 decisions, which always gets things quite animated down here. I think Adelaide United, as good as they've been, and they're pressing for this winner, they've got to remember if they draw this game, they're going to go second. So as much as they want to win, they've got to make sure they don't throw away a point.
Risky ball by Payne. Straight to Yengi, who looked to honour the run of Toure that time. Such a handful, Cassini Yengi. Really breaking through this season for regular game time. Growing into his frame as well. Started out as a tricky winger, and then the growth spurt saw coaches thrust him into the middle. Used to be a diminutive winger about 5 or 6 years ago. Here he is again. There's the hand used, plays for the penalty. Referee says goal kick. I'm not buying that one. Tim Payne giving Cassini Yengi some feedback about trying to milk penalties like that, and the referee might chime in with some of his own advice.
Well, he did well, as he's got all the instincts of a winger. Wellington thought that might have been handball by him as a half appeal, and then certainly questioning Yengi's integrity on that occasion. But more time has ticked by between the stop and the restart.
How much stoppage time? The fourth official about to reveal. Just the 3. More groans at Cooper's.
Yeah, that's not right.
Is it enough time? Corner earned by Payne. It's farcical. We just watched 2 minutes for a head clash. There's been umpteen substitutions. There's been other stoppages. And Ali Reza Fagani, I've said it before, if the message can get through, if a memo can be sent, he's got to work on his timekeeping. It's shocking. Should be at least 5 or 6 minutes being played here. Piscopo's delivery. Not quite the radar on for Lewis. Created more since going down to 10.
Yeah, and Wellington have turned the tap off. That's the thing. It happens often. Just get a little bit nervous. It's not just Wellington tonight. It's common, really common. Combination of nervousness. You don't want to drop points against a team with a player less, and you also fall into some sort of false sense of security that it's just a matter of time, but you've just got to make the advantage work. It just doesn't happen for you. And the flip side of that has been a really tenacious Adelaide United with some exciting fast players up front who are pretty much oblivious to the situation. They just want to play and attack and run and score.
Well, they won it in the 97th minute a fortnight ago in Wollongong against the same opposition. Got to do it inside 93 here. Unless there's a VAR delay like there was on that night. Look how advanced Laws is. Piscopo fires it out quickly. McGarry fighting for control. All the way back to Laws. Not offside despite the appeals in the middle. Piscopo. Tim Payne. Weary. And Timotheo didn't even leave it to his goalkeeper that time. Great work rate by Yengi, and he was fouled. Now desperate are Adelaide United to take this free kick.
Not very.
There's been a spate of goalless draws out of nowhere in the A-League. This one has a little bit of timekeeping issues to address. You can hear the boos at Cooper Stadium. More frustration for Wellington on the road. Cassini Yengi has surely demanded a starting berth with his cameo off the bench tonight. Reno Piscopo tried hard in his late cameo as well. In the end, Ryan Strain's red card ignited Adelaide United, but they couldn't find a winner. Full time, 0-0. Yengi and Toure, the strike force of the future for Adelaide United. We'll have a few discussions post-game about how they can link up better in the future. Ufuk Talay, his team has now played 21 games and they're on 27 points. It's going to be tough. Need to start getting the wins going, and their next assignment is Melbourne City away, as it is for Adelaide United as well. There's a couple of Ollie Roos hopefuls checking